is the Chrissy Swan Show.
Our favourite day of the week, Thursday. Welcome, Jack.
Good afternoon. It is the best.
Can you explain why we love Thursday the most?
Because Friday's too obvious, Tuesday sucks,
Yeah.
and Thursday's just the best.
Thursday's the best. Thursday's the best. I've got an update. We're going to do sweeping statements before the end of the show, but I've got an update on my sweeping statement from 2 weeks ago.
Was that Borat?
No, it was sleepovers.
Oh, yes, with kids.
Sleepovers are terrible and my children know that they must never have one. Well, ask me how that's going.
How's that going?
Peg's having a sleepover this Saturday.
Oh, you caved within a fortnight.
I caved because it's her birthday, see. So she comes to me. She's got a big future in marketing, right? She pitched it. She's like, it's not a whole lot of girls. My birthday's coming up. It's 2 kids. They're not crazy kids. They're really good girls. We'll be in bed by a certain time. I've told them my mum's crazy. I said, okay, all right, you can do it. So pray for me that that's happening this Saturday.
And remember on Friday in Chrissy's correspondence, someone suggested that you just crank the heater and then they'll all pass out.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
You know there are things in the kitchen called the oven that you use sometimes.
Really?
I know.
What does it look like?
It's sort of, squat in the bench.
Yeah, right. And what do you put in it? Yeah.
You've never used yours. I use mine on the daily, right? And it stopped working. Yeah, I know. That was the right reaction, by the way, a gasp.
Yeah, well, I know in your household, like when you're running a household.
I need that oven.
Correct. Otherwise, that's like...
I fancy myself as a bit of a baker,
Yeah.
so I need the oven. What it was doing was it would, when you turn it on to 180 or 200 or whatever, it would stop at 160 and it was stuck at 160.
Which is just an annoying temperature.
It's not hot enough to really do anything, right? So, of course, I just wanted to buy a new one.
So is that what you did?
I wanted to because I can't deal with repairs. So much stuffing around.
And a repair will end up costing close to the amount of a new oven, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Anyway, the guy that I buy all my appliances off, I contacted him and said, my oven's not working, I'm getting a new one. He said, don't be ridiculous, it's 5 years old. So he gave me a little smack and gave me a phone number, which has sat on my magnetic board in our office for 6 weeks.
And you've not fixed it for 6 weeks?
Well, I can't. It's just too hard. I'm never there. There's no one there. I've got to organise, for someone to be there for the It just was not happening.
You've been cooking really yummy stuff over the last 6 weeks.
At 160 degrees, right?
Far out.
So I actually think that it is getting hotter, but the display's not moving.
Gotcha.
Well, here's the little win. I've just thrown out the technician's number that I had to call that I didn't call because somebody flipped the safety switch in my house, like plugged in something, a light or whatever, and everything went dead, which was annoying. But it's reset the oven and now it works.
Fixed. Oh, that's a massive win.
It works and I don't have to go through the rigmarole.
How good.
So there's my little win.
And now give me your whinge.
My little whinge is this. I fancied myself in a pair of shorts this summer. And I bought them online from, I want to say Zara. Nice little pair of long shorts. They arrived. Of course, they're not as long as they are in the picture. I needed about an inch. They cost me $24.95, which is a reasonable price for a pair of shorts, black shorts.
Competitive.
So I went around the corner and I popped them into my alterations place. I just picked them up yesterday. The alteration to add an inch on was $37.50. And I've got to know, why are alterations so expensive? Why?
I guess... No, I don't even get it.
The shorts are, just to reiterate, $24.95 for the shorts, $37.50 for an extra inch.
Did you do it?
Yeah, of course I did.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
No one, especially women of a certain age, should ever feel invisible, disconnected or unimportant. Priceline Pharmacy celebrates you and all your uniqueness at every age because at Priceline, it's always a festival of you.
Head in store or online at priceline.com.au.
The Chrissy Swan Show. Chrissy's clickbait.
This one grabbed my attention because it had the words Ouija board on it.
I've never played one.
Haven't you?
No.
Well, I'm hosting 3 girls for a birthday sleepover on Saturday night. I think they're too young for a Ouija board, but it is a rite of passage when a certain group of girls, and maybe guys, I don't know, I've never been a man, but when a group of girls of a certain age get together, They get out a Ouija board. Sometimes you've got to make it yourself like we did when we were teenagers, and somebody pushes around the glass and nobody admits to doing it, and it's great time. It's great memories. But I'm sure that time will heal all wounds for these 28 girls who have been hospitalised with anxiety after playing
I mean, come on.
with a Ouija board. I get it. It is quite terrifying because you always do it at night. You're not allowed to do it. It's otherworldly and creepy. You know, it's like a portal to hell. And you're getting messages ostensibly from the other side. I mean, it's creepy.
If I was a parent, I'd turn the heater up, like was suggested from one of our listeners, and just make them all fall asleep.
But if you've got a Ouija board, then you'll feel like the bowels of hell are opening up and you're going to fall in. 28 possible cases of anxiety in the school students that had to go at this in the American state of Colombia.
Wow.
So I'm going to ban Ouija boards on Saturday night.
I think that's a smart choice.
I think the girls are too young. It's going to be sour strips all the way. Now, I've got this headline and I feel like it's something, but I know that you'll be able to explain it to me. Kendall Jenner hugging on Bad Bunny after group sushi date. I mean, is there anything more vacuous than that sentence?
So this is interesting because Kendall and Bad Bunny have
Who's
been...
Bad Bunny?
He's a Puerto Rican rapper.
Okay.
He's not massive, but like I know his name and know that he's a rapper.
Well, he's about to be massive if he's
He is.
hugging on Kendall Jenner after a group sushi date.
And they keep being rumoured to be hanging out on Dermois, and now they've got photographic evidence. But what I love about Bad Bunny is his name, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's memorable. And
yeah.
What do you think a reason for him being called that would be?
Is it anything to do with Donnie Darko? Because that's like the imagery from that film is a Bad Bunny.
It's not. Good guess. It's simply because he was made to wear a bunny costume to school as a kid and was photographed looking angry and upset. So from then, he was just Bad Bunny.
Oh, my God. So that would explain your nickname too, Angry Mobile Phone. Because we've got footage of you dressed as a mobile phone very early in your Casanova career. And I'm imagining, now that I know you better, you weren't happy about that, Jack.
Wasn't thrilled.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Here's where you've got to help me out here, Jack, because I still have not had a chance to catch up on Married at First Sight.
You've missed a good season.
I know I have. And it's not, I'm not being judgy.
No.
I'm not above it. I just don't have the time. And I feel like also it's so well covered on socials, etc., that I almost don't need to watch it.
Yeah, because you get the gist.
Yeah. The headlines today are all about Harrison being a gaslighter.
Massive gaslighter.
All right, you've seen the ep. Tell me what happened.
So last night it was the dinner party.
Yeah.
The couples had returned from the retreat, which was a new MAFS thing this week.
Oh.
Essentially, they chucked them all in a house like Big Brother and hoped that they all fought, which they did.
Right.
The biggest plot from the retreat was everyone questioning Bronte and Harrison's relationship.
So Harrison's the villain.
The villain.
The super villain.
And Bronte, who's his partner, who I've been saying for weeks, they're clearly off camera. They've just decided, let's make this work so we get some extra weeks on the show.
Sure.
But everyone's called them out on that. And then apparently after that, Harrison dumped her over text. Because apparently she couldn't commit to him. Anyway, it was all wishy-washy. But there's this one grab, which is just like you were screaming at the TV because he's so clearly gaslighting her.
Okay, great.
I don't know how many times I could have said it in 5 different languages to you, that I'm in this relationship, that I wasn't going anywhere, that I'm willing to move to Sydney. How much more clear could I have been, Harrison?
That's a wishy-washy flippant answer. I'm sorry.
There's nothing wishy-washy about that answer.
Oh, God. You know what? That's nonsense. He's full of nonsense. That's my least favourite thing in the known universe is nonsense.
He's walking nonsense.
Right.
But Claire, who was the chick that cheated on Jesse a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
she summed him up pretty well, I thought.
Bronte has finally seen Harrison for the giant pimple that he is.
What a sledge.
This giant pimple that is going in my back pocket. I love it.
The Chrissy Swan Show. It's now time for Chrissy Swan's Headline or Not a Headline. Over to you, Chrissy.
Thank you, unknown reporter. We've got Laura on the line. Hello, Laura.
Hi, Chrissy. How are you?
Fabulous. Do you know how this game works?
Well, I have a fair idea. I just have to guess if it's real or if it's fake.
Exactly. It's that easy. I have 5 headlines in front of me, and I'm going to ask you which one actually appeared truth is stranger than fiction a lot of the time. I'll just leave that little nugget with you. And for everyone you get right, you get a different prize out of my big bag.
Okay.
All right, do you want me to fossick around my giant bag?
Yes, please.
All right, let's kick things off. Snoop Dogg parties with Ed Sheeran and Russell Crowe backstage at his Melbourne concert as fans notice jar of suspicious green herbs on the table.
Ooh.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it is Snoop Dogg, so I don't know. I would say, I don't know. Maybe that's true.
Yes, that is a headline.
Correct.
I've seen photographs of it. They look sad.
They
three of
do.
them.
They look really grim.
Oh, they look so grim. I was listening to Joel Creasy's show and he was like, that sounds like fresh hell to me. I would not like to be the fourth,
I heard that too. I
the
loved
fourth
it.
member of that. What am I going to give to you? What about, you've got a dog, haven't you, Laura?
Yes, I've got Penny.
I'm giving you a Wall pet grooming pack from Wall. Everything you need. Enter Wall's next pet model. Search at wall.com. That's WAHL.com. Next headline. Bad guy songstress Billie Eilish drew inspiration from her cat's urine for new fragrance.
I don't know what to say about that one. A little bit off. So I'd say maybe that's true.
She's a bit quirky, but she's not that quirky. That is not a headline. All right, next. Rebel Wilson slams Meghan Markle saying she lacked warmth when they met. Headline or not a headline?
I'm going to say not a headline.
No, that is a headline.
True.
Yeah. Rebel Wilson told host Andy Cohen on his talk show, Watch What Happens Live, that Meghan wasn't as naturally warm as she'd expected. All right, Mila Kunis opens up on parenting, confessing she once made her daughter sleep in the kennel. Headline or not a headline?
Oh, gosh, that would have to be not a headline. That has to have
You are correct. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Laura. Joking. You have got that right. I'm giving you a $100 Laundry Lady voucher. It's going to change your life. Last one. Madonna pitches OnlyFans series He's Hung Up with new 29-year-old boyfriend hoping to charge $69 a month for a subscription.
Oh, that's got to be true for old Madonna. She loves it.
She loves it.
I agree. She does love it. But that is made up. Having said that, if she hears this,
She'll
might be
do
a
it.
good idea for her.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Tell you what I like is barley.
Oh, I know.
I was talking to someone yesterday and they said, how many times have you been? You're like a local. I said, I feel like a local. I actually do. When I get there, I'm like, morning, Agung.
Yeah, you know them all still.
I know where to get my coffee. I know the streets. Having said that, it's a very small pocket that I go to because I'm a creature of habit and I've got the street sense of a Burmese. Terrible, a Burmese cat.
Have you lost count of how many times you've been?
I have.
Yeah.
I have
thought you
lost
might
count. I reckon it's between 15 and 20
Wow.
over 30 years, yeah.
You're like an honorary citizen.
I sort of am. And you know why I love it so much is because for me it's no risk. And you know how busy I am. I can't risk a terrible holiday.
You just know.
I know.
Yeah.
I get there. I know where I'm staying. I know where I'm getting a coffee. I know what I'm eating. I know what we're doing. The kids love it. I love it. Bang. Hit the ground running relaxation-wise. But I think my whole, passing out in the gutter with one boob hanging out action, that's got to come to an end, sadly. Because,
Why?
Well, there's been talk of this for a few years. Have you heard about sort of Indonesian government cracking down on tourists in Bali? Like there was talk that if you weren't married, you couldn't have a room together.
Yeah, there was talk around doing the do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff. I mean, most people that go there are families who've been married for ages. They're not doing the do, I can tell you now.
The back of Potato Head, though. You don't know what happens amongst some 20-year-olds.
Well, that's true. If they're 20, they can still be bothered. But tens of thousands of Aussies may be impacted by these new rules.
What are they?
But I think it feels kind of workable. It feels flexible, as does everything in Bali, and that's another reason I love it. You know what I mean? You can just fudge stuff.
Just ask Chappelle.
The Bali Tourism Board is putting up big billboards all over the place with the rules, and it's basically about being polite and well-mannered and respecting the culture. But if you've got a crisp 50 in your back pocket, they'll turn a blind eye like they do for everything.
The Chrissy Swan Show. Chrissy's Clickbait.
Hugh Grant, Jack. Y/N.
Why?
Yeah, me too. I love Hugh Grant. I love how honest he appears. You know?
Yeah, and he's also... Never mind, I won't say that.
What were you going to say?
He's not American. Like, it's just nice to have, like...
I agree. It's nice to have that...
Yeah,
sort
that
of,
accent.
Yeah, that sort of crazy accent. Yeah, I just like him.
I'm with you.
But he's lost his temper at a nice local woman, his words. He's lost his mind. And I think we're all entitled to lose our minds sometimes,
Absolutely.
don't you?
Who doesn't love a little tanty?
Like, you can't judge people. We're human beings.
Absolutely.
And most of the time we're so well behaved. And then sometimes
You just crack.
you crack. And I'm very understanding of that. You know, in my house, if someone cracks it, I'm like, you're actually allowed to crack it. You know, life is big.
Not a
and you
man.
are small, but I'll never fight you. Anyway, he's lost his mind on set and I love this because this person was in his eye line and he was a performer, so he's an artist. He doesn't like people in his eye line because they're distracting. And he lost his mind at this woman, but she's just a chaperone. He thought it was a head exec from the movie theatre, from the movie studios. So he's saying, it was okay for me to lose my mind quite badly and yell at this woman because I thought she was someone else. I don't think that really...
Doesn't really fly.
No, you shouldn't be doing that.
He would have felt properly bad, though, knowing
Oh, my God.
she was just a civilian.
He did. He was horrified. He said, this is my best Hugh Grant ever. He said, she was just a nice local woman. Oh, I've turned into sort of Prince Charles and
Proper.
an ogre from the Dark Crystal. Because, everybody belongs in the Dark Crystal in a category.
Yeah.
I'll work up a break on that. So there's Hugh Grant. He's lost his temper. He's a human being, just like all of us. And speaking of human beings, one of Australia's sweethearts, Sam Frost, has welcomed her own mini human being. She's become a mother overnight to a baby called Ted. And there's a beautiful photograph. Babies are always good news. She's going to have her hands full for a while in the love bubble. Congratulations, Sam.
Who was she on The Bachelor with again? I actually forget.
The worst bachelor ever, Blake Garvey.
That was, yeah.
Yes, he was the worst, which is some accolade.
Given that show's history.
Exactly.
The Chrissy Swan Show. Swan's sweeping statements.
I love this segment. It's very popular online. Follow us on our Insta page, The Chrissy Swan Show. Slide into our DMs. Tell us your sweeping statements. Some of them are so funny.
They're the best. I agree with a lot of them as well.
I know, I do too. They're brave.
Yeah.
They're brave. 13 24 10, give us a call with yours. I'm going to kick things off, Jack.
What is yours today?
Board games belong in the 1970s.
Oh, yes. I was worried you were going to go the other way with that.
No. I have tried so many times to relive the joy of the 70s and 80s via a board game. They are done. They're dinosaurs. All mine went out on a hard rubbish collection about 2 weeks ago.
And I hate that everyone tried to make them come back during COVID. It's like we have technology all across the house. You don't need to sit with your family and play Monopoly.
It's not fun anymore.
No.
100%.
Watch
All right,
Netflix.
What's yours?
That bars of soap
Yeah.
are grotesque and shouldn't be used.
I only use bars of soap.
Really?
Having said that, I'm the only one that is in my bathroom. Like, I'm the only body rubbing it on my bits and bobs and...
But really getting in there.
I promise you, when we live together in Sydney later on in the year, we won't have to share a bar of soap.
Well, absolutely not. And even on yourself, though, don't you feel like you're just putting yesterday's grot back onto your body?
No, because I wash it. Oh, I've completely gone against the rules of this segment, which is it's your sweeping statement and I'm not allowed to talk you out of it. Soap bars are gross. You're going to die on that hill.
The Chrissy Swan Show. Swan's sweeping statements.
Yes, I've said it. Board games are dull. They belong back in the 70s. The only reason they were popular in the 70s and 80s is because there was sweet else to do.
Exactly.
But now there's stuff to do.
There's an iPad.
There's plenty of things. Maddie, what is your sweeping statement?
I basically say that any type of family social media account that's primarily amongst their kids is a really huge red flag for me.
What? Explain it a bit more. What's a family social account? Is that the same as like you want to email your friend and you realise that her email address is Mr. and Mrs. Kemp?
No. So it's actually on like TikTok and Instagram, like say like the Ace family or the Grant family, where they literally focus their entire like social media on their kids, and like you know how kids like do activities with their parents and like they don't want to do it, and like you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren, what is your sweeping statement?
Nutella is overrated.
Oh, Lauren.
Agreed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Why?
Just everywhere. There's like you just need more dessert options. Not everything is better with Nutella put on it. Far more superior spreads.
Okay, what are they? What are the more superior spreads, Lauren?
A Biscoff spread. Have you had that?
I have had that.
It's superior.
I mean, where were Biscoffs our whole lives? That's a new thing, those biscuits.
Put a Biscoff in a Ferrero Rocher and you've improved the Ferrero Rocher.
Because Ferrero Rocher is 80% Nutella, as everybody knows. I have been known to open up both sides of my pantry just for one Biscoff, and then all of a sudden my hands are forcing 7 Biscoffs at one time. They are unbelievable.
I'm just not a massive chocolate or sweet guy.
Have you had the Biscoffs though?
No.
Okay, I'll bring some in.
Okay,
I've got
great.
a secret stash. I've got a secret stash behind the Tupperware containers because I know my kids will never find them. Well done, Lauren. That is a good sweeping statement. Nicole, what is your sweeping statement?
Oh, hi, Chrissy. Hi, Jack. My sweeping statement, I do love Meghan and Harry.
You love Meghan and Harry.
I do.
I do. And I will fight you, she says.
What did you think of the Netflix doco?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I kept waiting for something to happen to make me dislike them, and I still like them.
That's. I mean, I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not.
I think it's unpopular.
No, it's unpopular. And Chrissy, I must say, I'm a long-term fan of yours, and we, on our Venn diagram,
yes,
we've got lots of things.
What a shame that you sound like you're possessed by the demons. I'm hoping that that's not something that we have in common.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
I had a bit of an moment. Did you used to say that in primary school when someone got in trouble? No. You didn't do that.
It's like you sing it really beautifully. Never.
Really?
That's
okay.
new to me.
Okay. Well, that's what you do. Like if you go like, I just broke all my pencils in my desk. That's naughty.
I like it.
Naughty. And I was a bit of a naughty mummy, I think. May or may not have risked my kids' lives. I want to get your temperature on this.
Okay.
I heard a headline on the news, and so I Googled it to find out, and indeed it was true. Gunmen kidnap US citizens who crossed into Mexico.
Wow.
To buy medicine, and I'm looking at a photograph of the exact area that I took my 3 kids across the border at Tijuana.
And is that where you went through?
Yeah.
And also the type of medicine that they're crossing for at those borders is probably questionable.
It could be questionable. It could be, but it could also be life-saving medicine because in the US, there's all these taxes and stuff. Like $1,000 worth of asthma medication costs $5 in Mexico, right? So it's also
worth
reasonable.
It.
Yeah, it's also worth it.
Competitive.
But these people literally just got across the border and then their car was shot at.
Bad news.
I mean, look,
far out.
in fairness to me, we weren't in a vehicle. We were on foot, which probably made
That's
us...
even worse.
Is it?
Yeah, because you don't have the protection of some metal around you. You're not in a metal box rolling and you can't accelerate. You're just like letting them go, yeah, they're on the footpath. Yeah, take them.
Was this dangerous? When I did it, it was so fun and it felt so interesting and like all the synapses in my brain and the kids' brains were popping with new experiences. It was so exciting.
Crossing the border into a different country.
Border, yeah, because we were in San Diego, which is, no offense to anyone who lives there, pretty dull, pretty homogenized, very nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a nice day sort of place. And then we walked across into Mexico and it smelt like carnitas on the street and little corn tortillas, and it was just magical. And we were drinking horchata, this great coconut drink off the street, and it was just a beautiful experience. It felt so great. And then when I expressed that I'd done this, a few people looked at me funny and went, "Aren't you worried about the drug cartels and people kidnapping you?" And I was like, I survived, didn't I? It didn't happen to me. I just wonder if that was an unusual risk.
Maybe go home and watch Ozark and you'll learn what not to do.
I've got another thing I've got to put on my list to watch.
Now check this out.
The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.